Hello, hello, hello. It's been a long
Hello.
time. It's been a minute since I've been on this channel, on my own
I
channel.
know. How are you feeling and stuff?
Good. Good.
Good.
I've been working on this intro for a real long time, and now I'm down to the part where it's just a little fine tuning and picking the song. And I got a couple, like I was thinking about reusing the song I already am using now or a different one, but
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel, because it's gotta be one that I can hear over and over and over and over, and one that you guys can all hear over and over and over and over. So,
It's so hard
anyway.
to find a song. I hate that part just because I could find many good songs, but because of copyright and stuff, it's just
Well, I
frustrating.
use, Epidemic Sound, so they have a really good selection, and, you pay the fee or whatever, and then it's all copyright free, but,
What do
yeah.
you do? Put like a link in your description or something or
You just download it. And
oh.
when you start your subscription, you, choose you add your channels, you can have your YouTube, your Facebook, your TikTok, all kinds of you can only have one YouTube channel, though. That's the only part about it I
Mm,
don't like. Yeah. So,
okay. Oh, I'll have to look into that because I have
yeah,
a
I'll send
really hard
you a
time
link.
finding music. Okay.
YouTube's stepping up their game, but then they have this new thing like sharing. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense and it's kind of hard to understand. But let me say hi to everybody. Hey, Crystal. Hey, Chick. Hey, Pekavi. Hey, K Braze. Carol Claus. K Braze D. Ceci. Chick. D. Pointer Lover. Hello. Candy Cane. Baked Crumbs. Oh, it jumped. Pepper. Salty C. Katie Queso. Let me see. Yorkie, the pink dahlia. Wow, everybody's in here. Melissa Jade. Savvy's aunt. Wow. Les
Oh,
Pepper.
hey you
Everybody.
guys.
Salma. Hi, everyone. So good to see everybody. Sorry for the just. Hey, Seth. Just chit chatting before we get started. But before we really, 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 really get started, you know what we have to do. We have to hear a word from our
Smash, smash.
sponsors. So here we go.
And Kai, when you're on Jen Lou's channel, what do you do with the like button?
Smash, smash, smash. Yeah.
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 I love it every time.
Okay.
Never gets old, man.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. All
I
right.
showed Jen when I'm out here sitting outside with my little bug torch thing, waiting on Bigfoot to come through the woods over there while
Are
we're
you
while we're
wearing
out here talking.
Crocs? Are
Yes,
you
Croc
wearing
sandals.
Allie? We got to talk.
What? They're so comfortable.
I
I
can't
gotta
take
send
the
you some pictures.
Crocs.
See my
You
little
do.
oh no, that's not the one. My little stickers. That one says Hakuna Matata and the little
Oh, that's
reason.
cute. Those are cute.
Thank you.
They're not
So yeah.
I don't know. The sandals aren't so bad. It's the like original Crocs. I don't know. Maybe it's because I got really skinny ankles. And so they just look
Make you
like
have boat
boats
feet
on
or
me. Yeah, they
yeah.
look weird on my ankles. I mean, you've seen my feet. You know what they look like.
You got cute feet, but yeah, I
Thank
don't
you.
know. They're comfortable is the thing. It's
I
like a
did
mom
have some
shoe.
Croc flip-flops. Um, and those were comfortable, and I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, those
I
are
don't know what
cute.
I
I
did
like
with
that.
them. Yeah, they're super comfortable. All right. So, you're not late at all. Point positively. Parker. Hello, Lola. Lolo. I can't talk today. Okay. So, today, Lori Vallow. Now, let me tell you what I spent my day doing. Okay. Every night, I'd be starting the
Okay.
trial before I go to bed. I get about 45 minutes into it, and then I'm out like a freaking light. So, now every day, I have to start over. And So I am right now I was listening to, well, this morning I started with Zulema, and then I listened to Melanie Gibb on her cross examination. And I didn't want to listen to Colby because I wanted us to listen to that together, because Allie and I were about to send each other the exact same link. They
Yeah,
enhanced that call. So the
that's
audio is
funny. We did at the same
muchly
time.
I know that audio is muchly much better. So let me get over to my Facebook right quick so I can
Pull it
get
up.
to that link. Because I want us to hear that, but so I was listening to Melanie, and I'm gonna start calling her Minimizer Melanie, because y'all, I listened to part of her. I almost clicked my own link to StreamYard. What the hell, Jen? Um, yeah, it's gonna be one of those
Don't do
nights,
that.
y'all. So
We're doing
just
time.
yeah, just hang on. We're in for what is it? Let me do it like Betty Davis. Fasten your seatbelts. We're in for a bumpy ride. So, yeah. Okay. I
Yeah, I'm
listened
excited.
to
I'm
Melanie.
excited. I have not listened to the cross yet.
Okay.
So yeah,
Well,
what are your thoughts?
basically, Melanie knows everything and knows nothing all at once. So one of the questions that Lori's attorney asked her is, um, so how long, you say, you're able to determine her relationship that she had with JJ and Tylee, and how long were you?
What happened? Jen, you muted. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I unbuckled myself on accident. Oops. I
I
was
was like, uh-oh,
adjusting,
what happened to
and
my
I
phone?
unplugged my own mic. Okay, so basically, he's asking her, how is it that she knows what kind of relationship that Tylee and JJ had with Lori, or that vice versa, Lori had with Tylee and JJ. So he asks, well, how how long have you known Lori? And she answers, and the thing about that is they didn't know each other a long time. But I'll tell you this, in fairness to Melanie, and you know how I don't like to do that. But it it depends on what happens during the friendship, because you can meet somebody, like I've known Allie a minute, right? Like I've talked to her on her channel, but now I know her. Now we're friends. Now we're buds. But we became really fast friends. And sometimes that happens. Do you know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
can give her, okay, I'll cut Melanie like 1% slack, maybe 1.5, because I'm feeling generous. That's about it. But then he starts asking her questions about the kids. Like, did JJ have a bedtime routine? And she's all, well, not that I paid attention. And, he asks quite a few questions, like about, did you ever go with Lori to take JJ to school? And she's all, um, I probably did. I feel like I did, but I can't really remember. Look, first of all, you need to stop. I'm already done with her. I can't even make fun of her without getting annoyed. Anyway, so I have to say that the truth of the matter is, I think that anybody who was in their little inner circle at that time should have known something was wrong. And I'll tell you why. Because nobody was asking about those kids. They were an afterthought even before anything ever happened to them. And that's the truth.
that is so sad. But I think you're right based on what I've seen. I didn't see the cross examination, but just on hearing the other people talk. I mean, shoot, yesterday it came out that she literally told one of her friends she was done with JJ, her son.
Yes.
How are you done with your son? So now that you and
Right.
Charles are together, you're just like, meh, done with him too.
Right.
He
Right.
calls you mom. He might be your son to you, but he calls you mom, you evil ass.
Right. It's like the kid. Listen, I think that Lori kept Tylee around. Hi, Shamita. Hi, Mark Klein. Hi, Ruby. Hi, Corey. Hi, Tony. Because hi, Mel Sparkles. Because Tylee took care of JJ. Okay, and then I think when Tylee started asking too many questions and putting her foot down and saying, "Why are these people here all the time?" and getting a bad vibe, um, she became a problem. And Lori just frankly didn't want to take care of JJ. And so when
Yes.
she no longer had Tylee, then, you know, it was, it's just messed up. And it made me, Melanie is annoying. But then today, her husband,
I
Professor,
heard. I was looking at Cresh's Twitter. Oh, you got to tell me about it because I don't know much.
y'all, okay, I didn't hear his audio yet, and I don't know all the things that he knows, but because we have to wait, and I don't like to do that too. Well, when it was just East Idaho news, I like to give them a minute. I need time to hear it and process before I'm really ready to speak about it because this stuff is so deep. It's it, Letitia's trial is hard, but it's hard in a different way. This one
Yeah.
is layered and it just okay. So David Warwick is on the stand and whatnot. And, you know, this fool, the judge has told everybody who's a witness, you can't listen to anything about the trial, not the audio, you can't listen to the news about it, nothing. This fool done listened to Melanie's testimony. Mhm.
Did he admit that? Like, did they ask him that, or how did that come out?
Yes. I don't know how it came out because I could only hear
Oh
the
yeah, you're doing
only
tweets.
it's well, I didn't do the tweets. I went straight to Law and Crime, and Gigi McElvery was talking about it. Well, I saw
Oh,
I saw their little thing their video that they did, and I guess it was on lunch that she came out and interview and did a update or whatever. And I mean, you guys, I'm telling you, I rolled my eyes so hard that I saw Alice's, Max, and Nestor's brains. I'm telling you, I was like, "What are you doing?" You know,
oh
like
my god.
yeah. So, and I just couldn't believe it. And the judge decided that he could stay. And, the other thing that I have a question about with the trial is this. There's been several times, both in the preliminary hearings and actually during the trial, when Lori's defense team has raised objections, and more than objections, they've raised the notion of impropriety on the part of the states. But I'll give you a specific example with Melanie Gibb. Melanie Gibb met with the prosecution team prior to her testimony, which is allowed. You are allowed under Colorado's rules, criminal rules, you are allowed to prep your witness. But if those witnesses make statements, and in particular, if anything is new in the statements, the defense has a right to know. And the fact of the matter is that they want it. So, but my point to all of that is they've suggested that the state isn't doing right multiple times. So what I don't get is then why not have the cameras in the trial?
Yeah, I completely agree. But from the beginning, they've kind of been making things against like Rob Wood and things against the state. So that's pretty interesting.
Yes.
As
This
far as
time it was
David
against
goes.
Miss Blake.
Oh, okay.
She's the one.
Interesting.
She's basically been Melanie's handler. She probably drew the short straw, poor thing. I couldn't do it. I'm telling y'all right now. I'd be like, why are we not charging you? You can't remember shit.
Well, I was looking at Lori or at Cresha, Charles's niece Kay's daughter's Twitter, and
Mhm.
she said she even has a live scheduled for later that says like lies, lies, lies on the title or on the thumbnail, and the title is like David Warwick and his lies or something like that. So in her tweets, she was also saying like calling
What
him
time?
out for not being truthful.
What time is her live?
I don't know, but I set a reminder, but I'll send it to you after we get off
Well,
here.
I was going to say, let's put it in the chat so everybody can go watch it. And if you let me know what time it is, I'll make sure we're off of here because I want to hear what she has to say. Because I've had a very, very negative feeling. I have never heard one peep out of David Warwick. I've never, I only know who he is through the case. Like I've never heard him or anything. And then the way Melanie talks about him. But the fact
Sure.
that he did what he did, to me, it's so there's I find that group of people, frankly, I don't know another way to say it, you guys, but I find them all to be very repugnant people. These are not people that I would hang out with. These are people I would freaking avoid.
Okay, so we can't watch it. We'll have to watch it after because it starts.
Yep, it's in
pretty
10
soon.
minutes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I wish I would have
But
known that. I would have gone earlier. But then I
well, that's
also
all right.
didn't
We
want
can
to
watch
go
it.
over I didn't want to go over Crime Curious either because I wanted to, and I
Yeah.
was late in there too. Seth, oh my God, thank you so much. I can't highlight you. I will in just a second. It won't go away, but I'm moving the show back in the house because I don't think I can never tell if I'm talking loud, like to you guys, or if it's loud for people around me. And I'm sure my neighbors don't want to hear me talk about murdered people all the time. They probably think
I
I'm a
know.
psycho.
Think about
And we just moved in, like I can't be showing my ass this soon. It's too soon. But thank you so
Cement
much,
Shoes
Seth.
shared. I didn't see Seth, or I would have told you. But Cement Shoes shared a membership milestone for 15 months. Good evening, everyone. Please hit the like for Jen Lou. 15 months.
Oh,
That's
Cement Shoes. Cement Shoes has been a member since the beginning, since I had memberships. He's like one of
that's
my
really
OGs. I can't believe I've had memberships for 15 months. That was just so incredibly sweet of you. Hang on, Seth. Let me now that I'm inside, let me highlight your super chat so I can thank you properly. Hang on just a second.
Oh, I see it now. Okay. Always happy
So-
to support you, Jen Lou.
So
Very kind.
sweet. Very, very kind. Let me scroll on up here and get this.
Pepper
Thank
David
you.
Warwick is Melanie Gibbs' husband now. At the time, it was her boyfriend, and he was actually there during that visit where JJ was last seen. David was there at Lori's house with Melanie.
Oh my God, I'm so glad that you said that. There's one little part, and I have to go back and rewatch it because I can't remember what happened right as she was saying this, but Melanie was testifying, and it was on. Don't get me lying. I feel like it was on. It was either on direct or redirect. Okay. Because I know that it was for sure, Miss Blake that was asking the questions. But anyway, Melanie said that when that last night, okay, that one of that, I couldn't tell if it, oh, Anita, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I was putting it in your chat for you, but Amelia has been a member for 13 months.
Amelia Sparkles. She's one of my OGs too, supported me from the get-go. I have so many good people in here. You guys are all just fantastic. You just support me so much.
That is true. So true.
I'm so lucky. So I love Alex. You know I do. I love Allie. So
I love you guys too.
So somebody had a nightmare, and I couldn't tell if it was JJ or if it was David. And Melanie got up and went to find Lori and Chad, and she texted and called and got no response. And then the next morning is when she didn't see JJ again and ever again. And nobody ever talked about him again either. So I'm thinking that it must not have been JJ that had the nightmare, that it must have been David. But she wanted, y'all, brace yourselves. She wanted Chad and Lori to give a blessing in the middle of the damn night because David had a nightmare. I'm
Oh
like,
my, this is how they looked up to them. This is how they thought they were. But do you want Chad and Lori to give you a blessing? You can't pray to Jesus or Moroni or all the what in the world? That is crazy. That shows the power they had over them. And Seth, thank you. You guys are all awesome. I appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys. I really do. And we love you, Anita Butts. But yeah, oh my God, that is just crazy. In the middle of the damn night, that just shows me, like I said, the power they have over them. They are.
exactly. Exactly. That's what I thought. Okay, thank you, Checkmate Humanity. It was David, and he had very vivid nightmares. I remember now. Thank you. She was all dramatic about it. Y'all know I don't have no patience for Melanie because I think that she minimizes her involvement. She has convenient gaps in her memory. And she says things like, well, it feels like it feels like it was around 3 months ago. It feels like it's just annoying. And then,
Yeah.
the defense did get onto her. They threw a dig. They said, was your because when he was asking about that meeting or whatever, he said, it was your memory as bad today as it was then, which she was like, yes. And
Yeah.
then let's see what else, if there was anything really big and not really. I mean, um,
Oh,
she
the
she
fact that Chad's lawyer is there is kind of interesting for Melanie's test. He showed back up for Melanie's. He hadn't been there. Like he came for jury selection, didn't come, and then showed up for Melanie.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Cement Shoes. She should have gotten David a therapy blanket like Linus for when Chad wasn't immediately available. Oh my God.
That's crazy. It's like they
Yes.
looked at them as if they were like Jesus or like, somebody who could, I don't know. That's crazy. The way that people treated Jesus, asking him to heal them and, do miracles and all
Right.
the things.
Okay, but let me just say this. This is just for me personally, okay? And I'm not making fun of religion. You guys know how I feel about that. I respect everybody's. But if somebody is claiming that they are like Jesus is their direct supervisor, okay? Oh my God, the audio is playing in the background for this damn call. And I was like, what is that noise this whole time? It's much better, by the way. All right. So, anyway, like Jesus is Chad's direct supervisor. All right. And Lori's. Okay. But here's my beef with that. The minute you catch them in a lie, that's when I have to start questioning everything, because I really feel like I know that the Bible says that, and I believe this, that Jesus hung out with like the lepers and the whores and the people who needed him most, right? But I feel like if Jesus gave you a job and your job is to assemble the 144,000, and you're lying to get the team assembled, that's would be I feel like that would be a deal breaker for Jesus. It would be a deal breaker for me if I caught them lying. And the fact of the matter is Lori lied often. She lied to Melanie frequently, and I don't believe Melanie when she says, "Well, I kind of believed." No, you believed, Melanie. That's why you were, oh, I'll do it. Jen, that's why, Jennifer, that's why that's why you attended the castings and all the things that you did. I mean, just
Oh,
stop playing with these people. What?
Crumbs just gifted me well, it's not
Oh,
me
yay!
gifted. I got it. And it's crazy because it looks so different than it used to. Like at the top, it says, accept your gift. And it says from B
Aw,
Crumbs.
thank you, B Crumbs.
Thank
You
you so
guys are
much.
wonderful. Thank you. How did I miss
I
that?
actually always kept a membership with you and Teresa, always. But then at Christmas this year, I canceled Christmas time, and then been gifted them like a few times, so I haven't bought any more. But thank you, thank you. Oh, and you got some. I'm sorry, Jen. Carol
Yes,
Claus
I do. I see. I
says,
see. Oh, yes, I got Carol Claus. I just a baby. Y'all are doing beyond an awesome job on these cases. Love both of you. Thank you, Carol. And thank you, Jennifer. Welcome to the 11 billion club. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then Candy Kane, membership member for 1 month. Why is it not letting me do it? I love your ladies update so much. Well, thank you so much, and we just love you guys being here. Thank you very, very much. We appreciate that. So,
me, yeah, absolutely.
the lies would be a deal breaker for me. Melanie pretends like she was only halfway in the cult, like she is some bootleg 21 Jump Street going undercover. You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
then
No, she was.
I think the. Go ahead. She what?
I was just gonna say she was just as big. She was just as big of a part of it as anybody else up until the very end, and that's just how I feel about it. She was only undercover to save her own ass once she lied for them and all the other things, and she had no other choice.
Right.
It wasn't out of the kindness of her heart,
Exactly.
or because she cared about the kids. You know.
Well, yeah, exactly. And here's the thing, McGruff the crime dog, Melanie. When you're trying to invest, you called Lori and asked all the questions and recorded the phone call because you were trying to figure out where JJ was. Let me just give you a pro tip, ma'am. When you are trying to suss out the truth, you don't offer the people that you're trying to get the truth out of options. It's not a multiple choice. You don't ask a question and then immediately follow it up with three different scenarios that could be occurring. Okay? If you want to know what's going on, you ask the question and then you shut your mouth and open your ears and wait for them to answer. Okay?
And everybody's laughing at your McGruff comment. I'm sorry.
Who's out? Everybody at your house?
No,
in the chat. I mean, she does.
Amelia Elizabeth Dahlia there. No, not at that.
She acts like she's out here just being fucking. All right, Seth, thank you so much. All right. You watch and not be in chat. Go take care of Bay. But yeah, girl, shut up. I'm so over Melanie. Okay. So now let's hear this enhanced audio
Nice.
and see what's what.
I can't wait to hear it because I actually didn't listen when I sent it to you because we had already listened and I was doing a million things. So this will be really nice because the audio was awful. It was horrible before.
But they done fixed it. And I put the closed captions on.
Oh, and I wonder if the sniffles will be enhanced.
I wonder. They probably took it out. Let's see. We'll find out. Are y'all ready? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? You think you can hide from me?
Wow.
I'm hiding. You just quit talking to me? Probably because you murdered my siblings. Maybe you should understand. I didn't. I'm sorry that you feel that way. You didn't do anything, right? Mom, I've prayed for you in my worst moments. I prayed for my siblings who swore to me were okay.
This mistake is costing Amazon Prime Shop. Are you still using them? Because at this point, it's the dinosaur.
I'm on the wrong account. I premium.
I could trust
I don't
you.
need a trial. Stop trying to freaking hard sell me,
I
YouTube.
thought that you
I have
were a
I have
completely different
premium.
person. I don't know a murderous mother.
You can make judgments when you weren't there and you don't know what happened.
What happened?
Everyone's making their own judgments.
Mom, you've been shoving BS on my throat for a very long time. I'm gonna talk to you
It's okay,
in a
Dad.
sweet. Hey, listen to me. I'm not mad. Listen to me. Fine, listen to me. I sat there and prayed. I can't tell you the amount of pain that I felt from your decisions in
Jen.
Jesus Christ's name.
Yeah.
It kills me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
ma'am.
I just want to say here for a moment that, like, because, you know, there are other people who got way worse ends of this stick, right? Tylee, JJ, Charles, Tammy, even Alex, in my opinion, even though he was just as evil and brainwashed. I don't know what he was, but look at what she's done to her son's life. She has destroyed his entire life. He's lost everyone that he I don't know. I hope that she sees now when she says, "Oh, my baby," when he's getting on the stand and things like that. I hope she really sees what she's done to him, because listen to him in his like, oh God, you can hear the trauma in his voice, and it's devastating.
I have to, yes, I will agree. And let's just address this my baby comment when he's taking the stand. Lori, I know that you're trying to go the wackadoo route, okay, but it's not going to work. You lied way too many times to too many people. You did way too many things to try to cover up your crime. It's not going to work. But that aside, you're not, it's not like you're at his high school graduation or his college graduation or his wedding or something, some big important life event, okay? Where you're, oh my baby.
Yeah.
Come on. You're on trial, ho, and you're on trial for the murders of your other two children. You trash bag. What is wrong with I do not these people. I don't understand them. I can't get it on. No.
Trash bag. Yeah, I like that.
She's
She's
just a
a
trash
trash bag.
bag. I can't take
You
her.
ain't even a good one. You're the cheap trash bag that falls out when there's too much heavy stuff in there.
Yeah, you're not the glad. You're the wimpy. You're not the hefty. I can't take her. There's this one clip. I don't know if you guys like The Real Housewives, but I do, and I used to watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta all the time. And Nene Leakes she has the very best one-liners. You guys think that I have some good one-liners? Nene Leakes, I think, might actually be better than me. One time she was fighting with Kim Zolciak, and she was talking about her to somebody else, like maybe in her talking head interview or whatever. And I'll never forget it because Nene just looks into the camera and she says, "That's a low down monkey with a wig on." And every time I see this picture of Lori, that is what I think. I need to clip that of Nene Leakes, and every time I see Lori, I need to play it for you guys.
What, right here on the screen? This picture?
Yes, that's a low down monkey with a wig on.
Her hair does look a little funky there compared to her face, but this is around. When was that taken?
This is a
Right
current,
after.
yeah,
Oh,
I think
okay.
this is a more current one, because I will say this, there's, a couple of other pictures of Lori that they're using when the audio plays, and Lori is using a frosting cap. Do you know what that is? That's how she did her hair.
Yes, I do. Sorry,
Okay.
the comments and my mute was on, so it took me a
Yeah,
second.
so
But
she's got like a lot of root under it wasn't done well. I understand that jail is not very conducive to your normal beauty regime, but at
wait,
this point, just
jail?
let that shit grow out.
Wait a minute, in jail?
Yeah, because she has to be coloring her hair. You can see how dark her roots are. She might be a dirty blonde, but she's
Right.
definitely, they have salons. They do let the girls do their hair in
That's
jail.
true. But isn't that's true? But I thought that was more of like a prison thing. But you're right, because her roots are definitely. It seems like at first they grew out a little bit, but now they're definitely fixed.
Yes, and I think she decided to fix it a la the frosting cap, which
Yeah,
that
it's probably all
I'm
they
gonna
get in
I'm gonna
commissary, like cheap
yeah
CoverGirl and stuff.
yeah I'm gonna have to go like I'm gonna have to be a Truvy for a moment. I can spot a bottle job at 20 yards. That's a bottle job, and it's a bad one. Okay, let's do
It's a
this.
bad.
It's bad.
I gotta tell you something funny. Like, remember a minute ago when I said everybody here or everybody's laughing at you? Well, just
Yes.
now, Bentley's dad walked out here where I was filming and heard you, and he was dying laughing. After I thought that was fun.
Well, I'm glad I made Bentley's dad laugh. How is Bentley? He doing okay?
Yeah, he's all right, but
Good.
man, he came home from school so tired. He's been asleep since about 6 o'clock, and I think he's gonna sleep
Aw.
through the. Tried to wake him up like 3 times for dinner, and he was so tired. He was like kind of like half awake, half asleep. It freaked me out. I like actually was gonna do a live on Real Talk, just like a Hangout 420 thing, and I was like, screw this, I'm not doing nothing. I gotta stay here and watch him because it scared me. But he's just tired.
Aw. Might be having a growth
Yeah.
spurt. Plus, he's getting over being sick.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right,
You're
y'all
right.
ready?
Because yes.
Okay.
To watch you sit here and tell me this is a trial, it kills me to watch you take the victim's route and say that this shouldn't have happened to you. When you are telling me that Chad Daybell came into your life and all of a sudden everything changes. And I'm talking about my spirit feels this. I prayed. I trusted you. I gave you every chance I could past my own limitations as a human being. I pushed past all of everything to try to get to you to help my own mother. You lied to me, specifically to me, more times than I can count about this. To know that they're gone and you knew, and my phone's being texted by my little sister, who's not even alive, my little brother, who's the sweetest
This was
little kid
this was low. No,
ever,
this was low.
for
That's
what
probably.
purpose?
I mean, of all,
Can you tell me
she's got a lot
this
to
is
answer
God's will
for.
my whole family, including
I
my
agree.
stepfather, to be dead after everything that you try to tell me? You can tell me right now that Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, is on your side. You tell me that with all the conviction in your heart that Jesus Christ is on your side right now. Please.
I can't tell you that.
Say it.
He wants to believe that
Say
she
his
believes
name,
or something.
say
You know,
his
he's
people,
Yes.
and you followed him like exactness, because I have prayed for you. I sat there and tried my
He was
best
never in the
to
cult,
forgive
Pepper.
you and Chad and Alex, and I was deceived, and I was broken by my own mother. What are you doing?
Do you love getting high but smoking her lungs? I've got you covered. You need to try.
what a commercial for
What
420.
are you doing? I
Look what you did.
prayed to Heavenly Father,
Oh my God. Speaking of
and I
things,
said,
do you know
tell
what
me,
kind
Father.
of ads I'm getting now? Because we've been talking about ADT and Ring.
I wasn't gonna say that.
What?
ADT and Ring email.
I don't care about
I
that.
get ADT and Ring emails now. I'm starting to
Wow.
get a little freaked out.
Do you know that you told me?
Very.
Do you know what you told me?
You weren't there.
You're
You
right.
don't because you.
I wasn't there. I was kept in
That's
his
right.
lap.
And one day you will know.
Murder.
One day
Murder.
you will know what actually happened.
You're right. 'Cause you know what, Mom?
Oh my
We
God.
all will stand there with
Everything
We-
into the light. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
You know what? I have to give Colby props here, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't think that I would be capable of having this conversation without cussing. And not
No,
one
and
time
also,
does he use not one time does he use potty mouth. Not one single time.
no, and think it's gonna be hard to stand up to your mom like this. Like, I actually would like to go back and watch because I remember he gave her the benefit of the doubt in the beginning. He really tried. He
Mhm.
really tried to say she was a good mom to me. I don't know what's going on. She won't answer me, and I'm just worried about my siblings, that kind of stuff. But to stand up to her like this and tell her, no, 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 you know, 2 kids were murdered while you were doing la di da di da, whatever. And to hear Lori so like jovial, she says it almost like she's happy. She's like, "Yep, and you weren't there. And one day we're all gonna talk to God about it." Like, lady, you are not right for what you did. Don't you see that?
That's me too, Teresa. I don't even have to be mad. I just cuss. But you know what I think he thought, honestly? I think for the longest time, Colby wanted to believe that she was brainwashed by Chad, that this was all Chad. And I cannot imagine. Like, look, we all have had those moments when when we were growing up, when we realized that our parents were human and they were not infallible and they didn't know everything. And
Yeah.
it's 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 that's one thing. This is something completely different. I can't even imagine um how that must feel, what he must be going through. And I think he gave her the benefit of the doubt for so long because I think like many people, Colby was under the impression that Chad did this, that it was Chad's influence. Chad, 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 Chad. But I have to tell you guys, this multiple probation thing wasn't from Chad. Lori already thought that before she ever even met Chad.
Hmm. That's part of what drew her to him because his
Mhm.
message, books and stuff.
Mhm.
But you know, I don't know. I think part of me thinks that, or I wonder if I think that she's truly sick. I think she's evil too. I just think
Mhm.
that she does. Just listen to her. She's so cheerful. Even think about her showing up to court smiling and like she's on the Miss America stage. Like something is way she's thrown off. She's
Throwed
thrown all the
all the way off.
way.
Well,
Yes.
I'll tell you, and I'm only using this person as an example, not because he is he shares some tenets of the Mormon faith, but Warren Jeffs, okay? I'm not the, but he's the only person that I've ever seen in my lifetime as a cult leader be brought to be on trial, okay? I mean, Manson, I wasn't even born yet, okay? But I watched Warren Jeffs. I was fascinated by that case and the story, and I could not understand it. And even though he didn't speak a whole lot during his trial or anything like that, he had a such it's I don't know another way to say it, a sunny disposition considering what he was facing, what he was charged with, all of it, right? And I couldn't figure it out. But the truth of the matter is, Warren Jeffs and I believe Lori Vallow, and I don't know anything about Charles or Chad because Chad hasn't really spoken yet. So we don't know a whole lot about Chad and how he's thinking and feeling about all of this. But I believe that Lori views herself as a martyr, that she did what the Lord wanted her to do, and whatever happens from here on out doesn't actually matter. because,
I think.
she's in with God.
Yep.
And I
How
think
can
that's,
you think God wants you to do to? I mean, look what happened to Tally. Look at that. I mean, you think that's God? I just, it's crazy.
yes, Pepper. Warren Jeffs was FLDS, which is the fundamental Latter-day Saints. So it
So is
is,
that break off? I
okay,
guess of.
it is a break off from the mainstream Mormon religion. Um, the fundamentalists believe in polygamy, and
Right.
I can't. I only know the explanation that I was given by the Mormon missionaries. They told me, and I'm not. I don't know whether this is true or not. I don't know. I can only tell you what they told me. But when I asked about polygamy, they said that that part of some of Joseph Smith's writings was misinterpreted, and that what it really was about was, as a community back in those days, men died, and they died young, and they left families. And so it was for the widows and their children to move in to the community with another husband, and wife, but they didn't do, they were just there. They weren't like, an additional wife. You know what I'm saying? It was like a support system. It would be like if you, if you were married and your husband died and you moved in with your sister and you brought your kids, you don't start hooking up with your brother-in-law. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. It was, they were just that they did it to take care of the widows. It wasn't actually a marriage. I
I
find that very difficult to believe because because there's other stuff in the history books that talks about um that it was polygamy, and that they were purporting to live as husband and wife, and that's very, very different. I don't know, I wasn't there, but that is, the Mormon church, when the United States has a law against bigamy and polygamy, and the Mormon church follows the laws of the United States. So there you go.
Okay, so I've watched a little bit of the like escaping polygamy or whatever it's called, and
Mhm.
I've seen some of those women who like say their husband would pass away, like you were talking about, and like their brother would take in the family, but they were actually, I think, like married and stuff, like sexually, like not just married, but like in a relationship.
Right. Right. So, like, I watched that show, and I watched Sister Wives, okay? And, Cody Brown is the husband, and then he has Mary, I always forget
Yeah.
her. Mary, Christine, Robin, and who's the second one? Because her and Mary used to have beef. I can't remember what her name is. Her name just escapes me right now. But anyway, um the way that he speaks about it is that they live the principle of plural marriage. That was a Janelle. There you go. Janelle. Thank you guys. Oh, poor Janelle. I'm sorry, Janelle. Actually, I like Janelle the best. She doesn't put up with no crap. And she was not checking to be like, she was never competitive for Cody. And I always appreciated that about her. Mary was insecure, Robin and Christine. So Mary was insecure of everybody. Christine was insecure of Robin, and Robin, I can't, whatever. Anywho, that's what he talks about, it is that it is a principle, and that you're either called to it or you're not.
Oh yeah.
Which I find that I find it interesting because they have a lot of children together. Cody and Mary only have one biological child, but the rest of the wives, and then he adopted Robin's two kids from a previous relationship, and then they have a child together, Solomon. But anyway, he has several children. Like 75% of the kids don't want to live pro marriage at all.
70 what?
75% of
Wow.
and the FLDS is not a good. That's why I didn't want to use Warren Jeffs, because I didn't want people to think that I was drawing inferences and that I was seeing them as the same. But Warren Jeffs is the only cult leader that I've ever seen put on trial in my lifetime. And so that's the only one that I can speak to. Should another cult leader be on trial? Like, I would be interested in what David Koresh has to say, but obviously I don't have that opportunity because, he's dead. But anyway, let's finish this audio.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't David.
The Branch Davidians in Waco.
Blasphemy.
Oh my God.
It's the blasphemy that made her laugh. Okay.
This is funny.
You shouldn't be
You're
laughing at blasphemy,
This is
Lori.
funny.
I'm
How
just
come
saying.
your cameras are on, Mom? You don't
He
wanna
sounds
look
like
me in the eye?
there.
Yeah.
Why can't you look at me? It's just you and me. I'm in my house alone.
I love you. I always will. One day you will see, and one day you will understand.
Go ahead and
I
hang
do
up.
love
See how
you.
that works.
Oh, they have video calls.
You gonna hang up?
That's why it
I don't
sounds
have
like it
anything else
does.
to say. You obviously don't know.
Let me tell you
You
something,
weren't
Mom.
there. You weren't there. Summer wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. The police weren't there. The FBI weren't there.
You're right.
Nobody was there.
Kylie and JJ, Mom.
Yeah, and guess what? They know. They know exactly what happened.
Backyard.
And they love me. And we are still together forever. They love me. And they are fine. And they do know the truth. And I know the truth. And we're the only
Oh
people
my
that do. So you can judge me, Colby, all day long. Go ahead and judge me. The whole
Judge
world
me?
has. The whole world
Brother,
has judged me.
Listen to me.
They
folks.
don't
Hey,
know, and
please
you
stop.
don't know. You don't know what I've been through, and you didn't even give a crap what they've been through. Nobody has.
What?
Except for me. I'm the one that knows.
How
I'm
did
the
I
one
miss
that's in the hospital with Kylie.
Because we were so
100
angry.
days
Because it was
watching
so
her suffer. I'm
incensed.
the one that
Gross.
was there doing everything
Yeah,
with JJ
and it was
every day.
quite.
I was the one who did it all these years.
You did it all to throw it in the garbage. They're not.
You don't know what happened. You don't know what happened.
Freaking matter what happened if they're buried in your new husband's backyard.
It
Tell
sure
me
doesn't
that
matter.
matters
You
what
tell.
happened.
Yeah.
You tell me that you
Get
did
her,
this
Colby.
in Jesus' name, Mom. I have to hear that out of you. You believe it, and you are not afraid. Every witness of Christ will scream his name when he comes back. So you are that person.
I am that person. I am that person.
Christ,
And he
to
will
be a
come to
murderer.
you. Oh, yeah, Colby, because that's what it is.
Then
Yeah,
what
it
is
is,
it,
Lori.
Lori?
No, you weren't even
When I
there,
asked
and
you
you
about
don't
Tyler
even
in
know.
October, when I asked you about Tyler in October, what did you tell me? What did you tell me? What lies did you feed me? Why would you lie to me if you're with the Lord and you've seen him, and I'm just talking purely to you, and you've seen Jesus Christ, where's the fear? Why wouldn't you tell me something? Why were you afraid? Why is everyone against you? Why is everything against my mom?
You can be against me all you want. One day, we will all stand there with Jesus. We will all stand there with Jesus, and you will know the truth of everything. Not for me.
You're telling me that this was all done in light. Say it. Tell me that this was done in Jesus' name.
Hi, everyone. Mark Barden here at Sandy Hook Promise,
No, gosh.
14th, 2012.
You don't know what happened.
Why? Why don't I know, Mom? Oh, because I was kept in the dark to protect me? You know who needed protecting? My little dead siblings. That's who needed protecting, Mom. This
Yeah.
is not.
Is that what you think you did?
You ran.
I haven't been.
A month later, you ran away. I never wanted you guys to leave. I would have taken those kids in 1 second. I would bring them into my home, and I would have taken care of them. That's not even a question to me.
Yeah, everybody.
You can't say that you know. Says it now. Where was my offer? Where was the offer? Well, you
I
had
did
a
everything
date for
for them.
disobedience. While me and Peter Griffin run away together to Hawaii.
Oh my
That-
God.
if you would have offered
How did we
me,
miss
you would
that?
have known. You
Hold on, I can't get to pause. Oh
Oh my God.
my God. Did y'all hear
Hold
that? Hold on. Colby called Chad Peter Griffin. Did you hear that?
I heard it, but I was holding my breath, so it took me a second to register. But oh my God, just
Yes.
because the other parts are so fucking sick. She's so sick. She truly believes this. Do you hear her? I'm sorry, but I'm
Yes.
sold now. Oh my God.
Yes. I'm rewinding it so you guys can hear
Okay.
it. Here, right here, you see, while me and Peter Griffin run away together to Hawaii. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna rewind a little bit.
That was
All right.
pretty quick, thinking to throw that in there. He must be
I will
calling him
say,
that.
well, he's not wrong, and I'm just saying, Wawash. Um, I have to say that this is this is not the first time that Lori has acted as if the children were a burden to her. Okay, and I think why people are so upset about it is this is never the answer. Okay, you don't unalive your children. Period. I don't care, but nobody she had a network of people that she could have told that she needed
Yeah.
help. She could have
But do
called her
you hear her?
son.
That everybody says that. Everybody says that now. And then he said what now? And she said, "Oh, she makes me so angry, Jen." And she said, yeah, yeah, you. What did she say? Everybody said, "Oh my God." Let me think for a second because I lost my train of thought. She gets me so pissed off. Um, yeah, she was complaining. Everybody says they'll take him, and he said everybody says that now, and she said, "Damn it, what did she say? Where were? Oh yeah, something like because they were talking over each other, but she says, where were you guys? Like where were you
Then,
then? Basically, yeah.
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, yes, a fat idiot. It's Peter Griffin is from Family Guy. You got to Google it, Pepper. You got to or YouTube Family Guy. Um, I, this is yeah. She's
Do you
so
think
gross.
do you think that she believes it now? Some of this stuff.
Remember we talked about this, and I told you that
You
after listening to Hidden True Crime and listening to Heather, and then I cannot ever remember his name. That's the co-host.
Yeah, I remember you said you believe Chad started to like really
I think
believe his
she
own.
did as well. I think what they both did is they told the lie over and or the because it's listen, Lori is not a goddess. Lori, it has I do believe in reincarnation, but the thing of it is, the idea of the ideal for reincarnation is to reach nirvana. So what you're supposed to do, Lori, is learn your lessons. And once you've learned your lessons, then you can reach nirvana. But if you're continuing to do lifetimes over and over and over and over again, it's because you ain't learned. Why do you think I try to behave in this lifetime? Because I'm done. I've been around this planet like 75 times. I'm out. I want to, you know what I mean? I'm trying to learn this time. So, yeah,
Oh my.
but they've interwoven different pieces of different religions and different belief systems, but they've warped and twisted them to fit their agenda.
Well, I was right there with you. I think that they do. I always thought they kind of believed it, or I wondered. But now, after hearing this, like hearing her talk about the kid, this is the most we've heard from her like this. We've
It
never heard
is.
anything about the kids from
My
her.
well, Amelia Sparkles, my nirvana would be nirvana. I would love to be chilling with Kurt Cobain. And I promise you guys, if I did have a near-death experience and I did get to talk to Kurt Cobain, I would not give a rat's fat kneecap what he was wearing. We'd have much bigger and more important things to talk about than his outfit of the day. Okay, like Lori and What was Jesus wearing, Chad? Fuck out of here. So yeah, that's why I'd be getting irritated with her, because she and Chad have taken bits and pieces of different belief systems and different religions, and then they have warped and manipulated them to fit their agenda. I just want to. All right, you ready? Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Well, you
I did everything for them.
Well, me and Peter Griffin run away together to Hawaii? How about that? If you would have offered me, you would have known. You cannot sit here and lie.
That's not everything. That is not the truth. Okay? That's what people are
They
thinking.
were murdered,
They're
put in the
assuming.
ground, and then you walk away. So
You don't know. No, you don't know that. No, that is not what happened. That is not what happened.
You tell me what happened. If you can tell me what happened, then I don't care. If you can actually explain it, then it's different.
I would love
But you can't
to talk to you about it.
I would love to talk to you about it. Fuck off,
Mom,
Lori.
that you've been wanting to tell me for a very long time, and you never say it. You have no idea how much pain I have felt in my body. I feel like I could die. My own mom, my siblings, and my whole family, my dad, everyone is gone except for you, and you're in jail because of it. I have prayed to Heavenly Father himself and asked him to help me survive this. Do you understand the freaking earthquake that has been caused? Do you know how many people are hurt and broken now? And you're telling me that there's a reason? Why are you following Chad down the rabbit hole, Mom? Why
Yeah,
would you
Lori,
follow
you suck.
anybody that is not good?
Yeah.
How can you follow someone
Oh, excuse me.
that cannot lead you to salvation in Jesus, Mom? You can't lie to me anymore. You can't pretend anymore. You can't hide anymore. If you want to tell me what happened, I called you for that very reason. You had enough condemnation for the whole entire eternity, but you're telling me that you're going to stand in front of Jesus Christ and you're going to be fine. Then I'm still praying for you. I am still praying for you. I don't know where the lies and all these things are written. I don't see it. I never have. The light of Jesus Christ is the most powerful thing that's ever lived. It's the most loving, embracive thing that has ever happened to this world. And I pray that you see him and fall into his grace. I pray every day. I pray, no matter how mad I am at you, no matter how bad I want to hit your husband in the face with a shovel, I pray for you.
I agree with
for
this,
him.
Lisa. Hold on. I will agree with this, but I will say the only part that would not be allowed in would be the state would not be allowed to tell Lori that they wanted to hit her husband in the face with a shovel. I'm pretty sure that that would be frowned upon. But yeah, I agree. This is as close to a cross-examination as we're ever going to get. I agree 100%.
Absolutely.
Which,
Give
yeah.
Colby a shovel. Teresa.
You ripped my heart out, and you ripped out everyone in this family's heart out. I'm going to be in Idaho
God,
this week.
Shovels
You
for
need to look
Colby.
me in my eye, Mom. Look me in my eye.
You weren't there. Everyone's gonna know soon enough. Fuck off, Lori. So there's poor Colby.
No, the way I pray, the whole time I was holding my breath. My blood pressure's like 1,000 now. She makes me so angry. Hearing him like that is just so tough. Like it oh my God, it takes it out of me. Like, oh,
How
that is,
come
it's just
she
awful.
never even comforted him? Like she never said, "I'm sorry, I hurt."
I'm
Even
sorry.
even if she thought she was like completely right about everything that she believed, and all this is, it's all good, and I'm gonna stand in front of Jesus one day and we will have this conversation. Whatever, Lori. Fine. But how about maybe, just saying, something to the effect of, not, I never, whatever I did, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry that you're hurt. You
Yep,
know,
exactly. Because you know what? In this moment,
I'm
let's
pretty sure
say,
the police didn't take all the shovels. Like, here, I would say yes. Let's hit Chad in the face with a shovel. I'd be pissed. You know,
I just, ugh, I don't know.
and she just cannot even. She doesn't even acknowledge his pain. I think that's what's so infuriating about the whole thing, is that about this, not the whole thing, just this call, because she doesn't even acknowledge that he's upset, doesn't acknowledge his pain, none of it. Just, I'm going to sit next to Jesus in his, robes one of these days. I forget what he was wearing. Chad, what was Jesus wearing? I can't stand her. I just can't.
Ugh,
She's a fucking
I know.
demon.
My thing is this: if she's on the phone with him, if she's talking to him like, okay, she truly believes whatever happened with Tilly and Jay, let's say she believes they were truly zombies and she was saving them. Your son is telling you that you ripped out his heart and he's felt so much pain. He literally thought he was going to die. He has had no one, literally no one. He's actually now like talking with Kate, like with some of Charles's family and stuff, but still he has no one. Now he doesn't even have his wife. And he's sitting there telling you that, and you can't even, like you said, comfort him a little bit or say anything, not even one. She's just such a selfish ass bitch. That's just what it is, what it comes down to. Sorry for the cuss words.
Really? You're apologizing to me? I think I delivered my whole diatribe 5 seconds ago, and I think everything was a cuss word.
Well, I'm just saying. It's infuriating. That call was really, but that was a lot different than yesterday or when we heard it, but without like being able to hear Lori was just and know what she said.
Madam Nixie, she does have an element of Stewart from Mad TV to her voice. Look what I can do. I wanna. She's like whiny. Yeah. I don't have any patience for Lori, and I feel awful for Colby, and I think, but I still do kind of want to hear. I mean, I'm going to, but I do still want to talk about, like, I want us to go through Colby's testimony, because I'm curious. I really want to hear it, and I really want to sort of compare and contrast Colby and Harley, because
I was
they were
thinking.
both, like, look at how essentially Letitia and Lori are very, very similar, but the way that they deliver their bullshittery is different.
Yeah, I agree.
Letitia just gets real loud and brings everything else in to confuse the situation, whereas Lori is all, that's what you think. You weren't there. One of these days we're going to be in front of Jesus, and we're going to have this conversation, and you will know. That's the way that she does it, but it's still manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
It's still gaslighting. It's still all the things.
It is. It's absolutely still gaslighting. But you know what? If you think about it, I don't think Harley stands up to Letitia the way that Colby just did. I mean, she
No,
might, Rose, but
she's
not
also
yet.
younger. She's also
Yeah.
younger. But and I think she will. This is what I think is going to happen with Harley. I think Harley has had some real eye-opening, awakening moments with
police and
what
stuff.
she learned with this trial and what she learned.
Right.
I really wanted to know, and this is one question that they never asked Harley, and I don't know if the jury did, and it just wasn't a question that the judge felt like it was appropriate, that like, because, there's rules, you can't just be all willy-nilly asking any questions. But what I want to know is, where was Harley when these, conversations between Al and Leticia were taking place? Where was
Oh,
she? Like, what, did she ever overhear any of these things?
she
And,
had she had to. And I think Letitia would talk about it to her, but not honestly. She's going to twist and
mm-mm.
turn, be the victim and all that. And also, somebody said that they heard Letitia ask someone for a charger at one point. So they were thinking maybe that was Harley, but I didn't hear
Oh,
that.
that might be. That might
Yeah,
be.
there's so much. I listened to all of it, but I can catch myself like, and also with certain witnesses, almost like zoning out. It's just so much and so long, and you can't retain.
Exactly. Now tomorrow is going to be the key with these phone calls, because what the FBI agent that is going to be testifying about these is going to be testifying about, because he was there and he was the one that was coaching Al and prepping Al before the calls took place, and preparing him. And so he's going to be able to, I think, really put some give us a good idea of why Al asked the questions that he asked, and all of the things. And that's really what they're finally freaking done, I think, with the phone calls. I think they're done.
And though he did do an interrogation with Letitia, so I bet we'll see. Don't you think?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm very, very very interested in what he has to say. And so here's my only like quandary, and I'm going to talk to you guys about it because you're the people I go to. So my quandary about streaming the trial is this: it's very, very difficult for me to watch the trial, pay attention to the chat, and actually absorb what's going on in the trial when I stream. I do much better doing replays, but there are some. There's definitely more Letitia. There is not like five. No way, Jose, Amelia, come on, you're killing me, Smalls. There cannot be 5 hours for really.
Oh, God.
Okay. Well, whatever. We'll get through it. We don't really have a choice. Okay.
Yeah.
The fact of the
Yeah.
matter is we're going to listen, but it's hard for me. Those calls are very, very difficult. And so I have to be able to walk away. And if I'm streaming, I definitely can't. So I don't think that I'm going to stream tomorrow. I will tell you this though. Regardless of how hard it is for me to do all of the things at once, it's not hard. It's not the right word. It's a lot is what I should say. I will definitely 100% be streaming the psychiatrists, both sides, because I am very, very keen to hear what they have to say, especially because the defense has asked for the raw data of her MMPI scores. And I don't know what they hope to ascertain from getting those, because essentially from what I understand, just from the exchanges between the defense, the judge, and the prosecution, is that Leticia was malingering. And my guess is that they want to have somebody to analyze it and say, no, she wasn't malingering. And here's why. That's my guess.
Yeah,
but I don't know
what does that mean?
Malingering is
malingering?
basically it's faking.
Oh, okay. Those tests are really hard to fake though, because
is that not the right word? Is it not MMPI? Is it MPI? No, that doesn't sound right. I feel whatever that test is called.
Her
personality
I know
index.
that I've learned about Yeah, whenever you learn it, like I learned, they teach you about like 2 or 3 or a couple different versions in the psych class I took in college, and they basically said that a lot of like, I'm pretty sure they will ask the similar things multiple ways just for that reason. You know what I mean? So people can't really
Yeah.
do that as much.
Well, okay. So, when Amber Heard was given the test by, what is her name? Dr. Curry. That's what her name is, Dr. Curry. Um, when she was administered the test, okay, thank you, Lisa. I thought that's what it was. I could almost hear Dr. B in my brain saying, "Are you normal?" Like she it would be so upset if she knew that I was questioning those initial. I should know that acronym. Anyway, so when Dr. Curry gave Amber Heard the
Night, Pink.
MMPI, "Good night, Pink." She said, "Thanks for being here." She said that Amber Heard was malingering. And she said that the reason that Amber was malingering is that it's like a multiple not I don't it's
Multiple
a
choice.
multiple choice, but
Mm-hmm.
Amber would describe that she had all the symptoms of everything. And that's not realistic. Nobody has all the symptoms of everything, okay? And so that was a clue to Dr. Curry that Amber was being less than truthful in her
Testing. Wow,
answers.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I remember too, like I know, like I said, I think there's a couple, but so a friend of mine had a psychiatric issue, and um like a really bad spell with bipolar with delusions, and she had kids and stuff, and she did not do drugs or anything, but her behavior almost mimicked like she
Yeah.
was using drugs. So CPS.
I'm
Oh.
listening. Go ahead. Alice stepped on the remote and turned the YouTube on. So thank you, Alice.
Thanks, Alice. But no, CPS made her go take, diagnostic testing and all the things. And she said that it was like a lot of questions, like a whole lot of questions. And that a
Right.
lot of them, yeah. So I think they try to trick, like maybe ask one thing spread out, several different times in different language, like using different
Right.
vocabulary.
Yeah, they asked this my dad used to do that. My dad was famous for sitting me and my sister down at the breakfast table and saying asking us the same question but different ways, and then his best he really thought he was slick. So what he would do was he would start with the thing that he wanted to actually know and ask that first. And then there would be an answer. Mine was usually a lie because whenever we were called to the breakfast table is because he was trying to catch us because we had done something, okay? And he suspected us, but knowing and proving are two different things, okay? And if my sister was forever confessing, bless her heart. I love her to death, but she's the worst. Anyway, so he'd start out with the thing that he wanted to know about, right? And then there would be like 11 billion other subjects covered, right? And then he would circle all the way back to the original question, but he'd ask it in a slightly different way. And my sister fell for it every single time up until I moved out, which is so odd because once I moved out, then she could do it. But like I don't know what it was about me being in the home when I needed her to get it together, she couldn't. But when I moved out, I guess she had no other choice.
Oh,
And
I can
because there
picture a kid in Lou, and that's I know you
oh,
were
I
hell on
was
wheels.
oh, I was. And I mean, I would okay, look, I try my parents didn't put up with any type of disrespect, right? But and I wasn't very, very infrequently was I ever disrespectful, but I will never forget I came home to see my family for Christmas, and it was Christmas Eve, and my sister wanted to go out, and my dad was pissed. And I don't even know why he was so mad, but he didn't want her to go out. And he launches into this lecture and he's like, "You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm so tired of you come home, You do whatever you think we want you to do, and then all of a sudden, hey, it's Miller time. And I just started laughing. And he was like, he looked at me and I said, I mean, that was a good one, Dad, but come on, it's Christmas Eve. She wants to go be with her friends. Just let her go. Yeah. So there you
It's
go.
Miller time. Yeah, that's
That's what he
pretty
would be
funny.
like.
Oh my god.
Oh, you come home
Hey.
and you do what, and it's, hey, it's Miller time. And I was like, I just started laughing. But yeah,
Oh my gosh,
I,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't even know how we even got on this subject or whatever, but oh yeah, that's you know what you know who else does that? Like employers do it. You ever had to take I'll tell when I worked for Walmart before you sit down at their little computer in the store and you apply, right? And while you're I mean, it's probably different now, but when I did it, and they ask you like a ton of questions, right? And it's always they're always like I strongly agree or I strongly disagree, and then there's ones in the middle. You're never supposed to except for like questions about theft and dishonesty. Those are those types of questions. It's okay for you to write that, I agree that is stealing bad. Strongly agree. Like those questions, but any of the other questions, if you answer too many strongly on either end, either strongly agree or strongly disagree, you're not likely to get the job. They want somebody in the middle of the road. I learned that.
That's crazy. That's really cool
Mhm.
though to know. That's like a good tip to know and to like for
Yeah,
just
be really careful about answering like those types of questions from an employer with a whole lot of strongly agree or strongly disagree. They want you to be like in the middle of the road. They As
look
if
at Tony's
somehow that's
comment.
indicative of you being sane. I answered every single question middle of the road. And have y'all met me?
Tony said she had to take an MMPI and it'll ask you 100 different ways if you want to kill your dad.
If you want to kill your what? Oh, your
Your
dad.
dad.
Oh my gosh.
It
I
does.
have
That's what I've heard. Like all different. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I have one that I'm supposed to take, but I just haven't got to it yet. So I'm a little afraid to take those tests. Listen, no, I don't even like being in my brain some of the times. Some of the thoughts I come
Yep.
up with, they're not bad. They're just like,
Yeah.
you
Wild.
know, wild. Like like when I was a kid and I read the story about Abraham and his son, and I was like, I'm serious, you guys. I'm like 9 years old and I'm like, God's out here playing games and testing people with their kids. Like that whole story just really messed with me. It really did. It
Too
really did.
smart for your own good at that age.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember one time my mom and dad wanted to put me in the smart kid class, so you had to take a test. And it is an IQ test. And I will never forget the look on the person who was giving me the test face. So she shows me a picture of a flower and she asks me, is this alive or is it dead? And I said, well, I don't know how to answer that. And she said, why don't you know how to answer that? And I said, well, because a flower, yes, a flower is a living thing, but a picture of a flower is not a living thing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I did that too. I had to take it,
Yeah.
but I don't remember because I was in like first grade, but I know I was in gifted classes after that. And I just remember a little bit about it, like maybe puzzles or picture, like something. I don't know. I don't remember much about it. Maybe some kind of pictures like that or something.
Yeah.
But that is so freaking smart and funny that a kid would say that. How old are you?
I don't know, like 5 or 6.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then the whole reason, you know what? They wanted to put me in the smart kid class. This is the whole irony of it, right? But they said, we're afraid to move her ahead because we don't think that she'll get along with kids who are older. But the problem was I wasn't socializing with kids my age. It's not because I couldn't socialize. It's because I did not understand them. I didn't understand the way they thought. I didn't or why they did the things they did. and they would tell the
Wow.
teacher on me all the time, Jennifer's using Jennifer's using words we don't understand. And here's little Jen Lou. Then perhaps you should, what did I say? You should expand your vocabulary. And
Oh my God.
yeah, so that was a problem for me.
Oh my God. That is hilarious, Jen.
I did have that. Was curious about that too, Shamita, about Jesus rising from the dead. I did ask if yes, it did concern me that Jesus potentially could be a zombie. These are kid thoughts, not grown up Gen thoughts. Okay. I was also
I'm
freaked out in
sorry.
catechism school when the nun told the class, because catechism is what you take when you're a Catholic before you get your communion. Okay, so I was in the class and the nun said that God was watching us all the time, and it freaked me out. Like, is God watching us when we poop? I mean, I was 9 years old. Does he watch you when you shower? What if you pick your nose? It was just too much for me, and
Oh my God. That's funny.
yeah,
Wait, didn't
these
you do
thoughts with
charm
Jen
school too?
Lou. I did do charm school. There was no um, like huge, big, deep thoughts for me in charm
Oh
school.
my God, that's so funny. That's crazy though. You did all those things like charm school, and yeah, it's because that, like I told you, I seen that Flavor Flav. Remember when they did the
Yes,
all the girls from, yeah, they did the
yes,
charm
from
school
Flavor of
with
Love.
Monique. Yeah. That's the only
Oh, and
charm school I've seen.
they had some from Rock of Love too.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it was Rock of Love Charm School or
No, no,
something.
both. They had them both. It was charm school, but they brought the contestants from from Flavor of Love, and then from whatever the one for Bret Michaels. I couldn't believe people were fighting over dating Bret Michaels. Like Bret Michaels in the 2000s, not 1980s Bret Michaels.
I know. It's crazy. I don't know. I grew up in a little mountain town in the holler, I like charms. I don't know. So that's so interesting to me. Like, I'd love
Like
to know more
Loretta
about that.
Lynn.
Yeah, seriously. Coal miner's daughter. That is where I grew up. Is where my dad was actually a chemist, but he worked in like for the coal mines too. But he wasn't a coal miner. But there, like that's all there was around there. Actually, that's really why the area's like so screwed up now, because there's not many left. But yeah.
I asked my mom one time when I was young, Mom, when I die, all the questions, I get the answers to all the questions that I've ever wanted to know. And my mom said, "Honey, when you die, if God lets you into heaven, you're not going to care. You're going to be so glad that you got into heaven that you're not going to ask any questions." That's what my mom told me. Honey,
Oh, that's
I
funny.
miss her.
Yeah,
I miss my mom. I do.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
Well, they say
I
that.
have good thoughts. I only have good memories of my mom, I mean, she did some crazy ass shit too.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine the woman who taught you how to be a woman, and you're pretty hilarious and funny.
Thank
So,
you. My mom was a
um,
lot of fun, but oh, she was something else. I miss her. But yeah. No, I never got hit by the nuns. Now, like, my parents, they went to I didn't get to go to Catholic school, but my parents did. And my dad, uh, he went to Santa Cruz in Arizona, and they did he was, obviously my dad is a man, so they boxed. There was one of the priests there was a boxer, and when you were bad, they would, they had to box. They would box the priest, which I don't even know how that works, because they're like a holy vessel. You're not supposed to really like, you're not supposed to touch them for sure. And I know you're not supposed to hit them. So I don't know if you're just standing there and the priest is just boxing you. I really don't know how that worked, but yeah, we never went to
so did you grow up in Florida
no,
or
I grew up in Texas. I was
Okay.
born in Arizona and I lived there from the time I was born until I was 10. And then when I was 10, we moved to Texas. And I just moved to Florida in 2016, the very end
Oh,
of 2016. Yeah.
that's right. Because I hear you talk
I,
about. I knew from Texas, but yeah.
yes. Yeah. My mom still, no, she does. She still doesn't like, in life, my mom was not a huge fan of like wearing flip flops all the time. And it's hot in Florida. So, like, there's no real occasion to wear real shoes, even in the winter. I only had to wear real shoes. This was the most I've ever worn real shoes in the winter in a long time since I've been here. Last winter was kind of cold, and but my mom doesn't think I should be wearing flip flops with jeans, and she will visit my friend Sam and bug Sam until Sam tells me.
Oh,
Yeah,
that is so
yeah.
sweet. You isn't that the medium or
Yeah, well,
right?
Sam is that yes. I mean, medium, I don't know if that's how she would describe herself, but yes,
Sensitive or something?
she's sensitive. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sam knows all the things. She knows about phase, all
Oh
those
wow,
things.
that's
Oh yeah,
cool.
she knows all the things. She's great. We got I need to see if she can get in touch with a truth teller so that she can get up there and tell her some because yeah,
Oh,
she
she
would
would
tell
love
her.
that. I would love that too. That'd be cool. Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
So
I've been watching all kinds of stuff on the face, and
I'm scared of them and I won't watch.
they are scary. And then you remember you mentioned, I think you no, it might have been you or Pink Thought mentioned those changelings. Then I got
No,
down
not
that
me.
rabbit.
I don't go down the changeling rabbit hole because that freaks me the fuck out too. I
It
can't
freaks
do
me
it.
out too.
I can't do it at all.
But,
At all. I know
oh,
Sam's in Ireland, so it's like she's like 6 hours ahead. So
Annie
she's
O said
making me memes.
she passes Gannon's memorial at the bridge every
Oh,
day.
do you,
Oh my
Annie? I
God,
didn't
Annie,
know that.
that's
Wow.
cool.
I should can you email me, Annie? Maybe we could do something um all of us that have followed this case, like,
That'd
put
be
something
really cool.
together and if Annie drives by there all the time, put something there from all of us,
Oh my God, that would be so cool. Yeah,
just a little something because I feel like, um, we should do that, you know?
I
One of
do
these
too.
days, I'm gonna get to West Memphis, Arkansas, and I'm gonna get to Weaver Elementary, and I'm gonna put something, some type of something from, you know, me at the Weaver Elementary memorial that for Michael Moore, Chris Byers, and Stevie Branch. And I need to get up with the library at Weaver Elementary because I know one year, several years back, there was a, fundraiser and it's nothing that, like, an individual does, it goes straight to the library, but I have to get their link or whatever, and people can buy books for the Weaver Elementary Library in, the boys' names, and I
Oh,
gotta get with them, maybe we can do that this year too. We still have to do our, like, charity thing. I'm telling you, Allie, what we really one of the things we really ought to do is do like jail makeup prison tutorial.
yes, I want to do that so much. I really do. And
We
I was
should.
going to ask you, I want to do another episode this weekend on cancer, on like real talk if you want to come.
Absolutely. I'm always down.
Okay. Well,
Always.
yay. Yeah, I think that'll be fun.
I would never I can't I can't believe thank you, Annie. Oh, if you would just email me, it's in my about section because it's just heartbreaking what he went through. And I was
God.
thinking about it. I've been thinking about it. It's all I think about really these last few weeks. But I was thinking about it today. And one of the things it was in a comment and I was replying. And it was to Emily. I remember now, Flotia. And we were talking about Gannon. And I think that one of the saddest things is that we will never know. There are some questions about what Gannon went through that day that we're never going to know the answers to. And the reason that we will not know those answers is because of Leticia's actions, everything that she did, and specifically driving him to Florida. That is why we will never know truly, truly what she did. And I think that's really sad because I think the world should know what Letitia did. I really do. But at this point, we're not going to know those answers. But I will say this: Leticia should have to answer for what she did every single day for the rest of her life in whatever way the universe deems fit. I'm talking about beyond the trial. Once she's convicted, because I just cannot see any path that would ever lead anybody to believe that she was legally insane at the time that she committed these crimes. Mostly because they haven't even been able to, at this point yet, at least for me anyway. Oh, thank you, Annie. At least for me anyway, they have not really said how long, and that makes a difference. It would be different if she if all of this happened at once, right? And it's bad enough, and I'm not but if it but I'm talking about, like, for sanity versus insanity, right? Legally. If it was all at once and it took place over 1 or 2 hours, that's one thing. But if it was, which I don't think that it did. I think this took place over several hours with breaks and with a huge gap in time in between, and then the last two things probably were fairly quickly, but I mean fairly close
Can you
together.
describe what you saw on Crime Chat? Because we hadn't
Oh,
talked about.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
This
Okay.
is awful, you guys. So trigger warning, because I know
Tr-
it's true crime, but this is just, but it's
it
very
is trigger
interesting.
warning. So Allie and I have been trying to understand how the the blood ended up underneath the bed, and just there's no defects in Gannon's bed, meaning like the mattress, there's nothing wrong with the mattress. It was intact, right? There's no like holes in it or anything from either a sharp force or the pew pew, right? So I was in law and crime chat the last day of trial, so Wednesday, yesterday, and there was this is when they were, they were discussing stuff. Anyway, so there was a commenter, and I wish I would have screenshot it because this commenter had a very good thought. This person thinks, and I have to agree, that that Gannon, the bed was not up against all flush with the wall originally. That's not how the room was arranged. There was a gap between the wall and the bed. And this person thinks that the reason the blood is under the bed is because Gannon crawled under the bed in an effort to escape Leticia. And that is why there is that puddle, as it were, pooling stain at the front at the headboard. And I suspect that is a result of the stabbing. And then what Leticia did is, I think that is when Gannon hid under the bed in an effort to escape her. I think that Leticia then went and got the gun and pulled him out from underneath the bed and then finally did what she did.
I do too. Or I was thinking after you told me this, and I thought, what if this is why there's 2 bullets? And remember, we were thinking, did she close her eyes? She shot from pretty close. How did she miss him twice? She didn't put the pillow over the gun. We haven't heard that. What if she couldn't see exactly where he was, and she was just trying to get him, basically?
Yes.
And he was hiding, and she didn't have a clear view of him. And that's why he was a moving target who was trying to escape her and probably guarding himself.
Yes.
God almighty.
Yes. So what I really think, you guys, is that I know that you can hear very clearly now, especially when you have headphones on, not earbuds, headphones. Um, I know what we heard in that video, but I have to tell you, um, there was a projectile in the pillowcase,
Yes, 2 of them.
but it didn't go through the mattress.
No, it just in the pill. They were found
It
in the pillow in the suitcase with him.
Yes, but I can't were they, but they didn't go through Gannon's body. They were just the bullets, right?
Right. Yep. Only one went through him, and that was it. So there was 2 that she missed, and they went in a pillow.
I don't think
And
she missed.
well, there's 2 that didn't hit Gannon and went in the pillow, and then there was one that did hit him
So they
and
were
went.
fired from the gun. They were spent bullets. They were
Yes, they were
Okay.
shot.
That's what
Yeah.
I was thinking, because I was thinking, well, if she loaded that gun, then probably what she did was unload the gun and put the bullets that had all of her DNA and shit in the suitcase with Gannon. That's what I was thinking she did, but she shot.
Well, I believe that also he could have been moving and block, like
She
using his
missed.
pillow. Mm-hmm. Because people were saying, like, I wonder if she closed her eyes while she did it. Like,
Yeah, but
how, or they're like, did she use it as a silencer? No, because that's not the way that, like, they're describing it. At least so far by what we've heard, it doesn't appear to be that. So, because the one that hit him, didn't go through the pillow and then hit him. It's just, I think maybe he was moving and using it to guard, and especially if he's, say, in between the bed and the wall or under the bed. And yeah, I don't know. It's a
it's
horrific
awful.
thought.
It's awful. The 2 bullets in the pillowcase, I cannot understand, because a pillow is not enough to stop a bullet. If it was enough to stop a bullet, then why would she put it in front of the gun to make the sound quieter? I think she just frankly missed.
I
And
think she missed too.
how it did not go through the pillow into the mattress, I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah.
Unless those first 2 shots were from a distance and she just missed. But the second one, I don't, but anyway,
But
or
the thought of
she
him
could have
awake and
pillow
aware.
Yes. Yeah,
Ugh.
I'm not so sure how awake and aware he
But I
really
mean, running
was.
from him. You know what I
She
mean? To the point where
when
he's
she
trying
was
to escape
stabbing
her.
him, yes, when she was stabbing him, he was, yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like during this attack, he knew he was being attacked. He was totally, I don't know. I mean, he obviously, I'm curious why she went and got the gun. Was it like he hid and she thought she hadn't done enough that would, unfortunately, oh God, I hate even
I
saying this,
think
that
she
would kill
just
him.
honestly, I think she just wanted it over. I
Well, you
hate
hear
saying
her
that too.
saying, I ran and went and tried to use the gun, or like, there's that cop describes it perfectly. I'm not even going to try, but right before Amber, the FBI agent, gets off the stand, she describes how Letitia gives little tells about things that happen, like hearing Gannon screaming, running to get the gun, all the like little things that slip through during her stories. Him bleeding from his nose and mouth.
Well, I'm telling you, this is just my opinion, and obviously, I the jury isn't going to hear what I have to say, so it's just for us to talk about. But when they showed the pictures of her hands, and I saw her knuckles, that's the
Mm-hmm.
first thing that I thought, is that this is okay. This is my theory of what happened that night. Okay, Sunday, and then and then Monday afternoon. What I think happened is they got home from that hike. I do think they went hiking. I do think it's very possible that Gannon had an accident. Maybe he had an accident, maybe he didn't. He did, whatever it was, something occurred that just sent her over the edge. And it's
Yeah.
nothing that it's her. It doesn't have anything to do with Gannon. And it's just who she is. And I think that she started, I think she beat him. And I think that he was hurt very badly from that. And I think that she recorded that video because I think that she wanted to prove that, because she's so fucked in her brain thinking that it somehow Gannon did this, and that she had him, and just in case he changed his mind and started to tell Al what really freaking happened, then she's got him recorded saying, well, saying this, that, and the other. I think what Gannon was supposed to have said, what the coaching was on that recording, where he says, I'm just worried about my burns. I think what he was supposed to say was, I'm just worried about the burns. Because if he got wax on the couch or whatever he did to the couch, because she talks about that too, but then she says, we're going to have to sell the couch. First of all, Letitia, fuck you for gaslighting that sweet boy. Number one, just right off the bat. Okay. But number two, okay, that couch, stop it. It's not that expensive. I think you might have got maybe $125 if you're lucky. Okay. So,
remember,
whatever.
she replaced the carpet and there was blood on
Twice.
both. So
Twice.
I don't know how.
So I think what she then did was, that's after she beat him and recorded the phone call. You can hear her being out of breath. Okay. You're not it does not take that amount of energy to cut a square of carpet. All right. It's not like she was replacing a whole room of fucking carpet. Let's be real. And remember, as Letitia says, I work out all the time. So I would assume working out all the time would include cardio, which would make you not be out of breath. Okay. So anyway, I think that the candle situation was in an effort to hide the beating, quite frankly. And I think she gave him hydrocodone through the night, and we'll never know how much she gave him because they did not collect or find the bottle of hydrocodone. I don't know how much, she gave Gannon, and how, we don't know. We won't know that. She had Harley come home and say goodnight to Gannon and left that baby downstairs with those windows and that basement open. It was cold. It's January in freaking Colorado, for Pete's sake. It was cold that night. Harley didn't even want to sleep down there. Okay. But she needed Harley to see Gannon so that she could then go with the lie the next day.
Exactly. I never even thought about that's exactly why. Why did I not put that together? That's why she had Harley go downstairs, and that was not normal. Let's go tell Gannon good night. So Harley can say they came home from the hike and everything, and he was fine in bed last, whatever. Oh my God. She's oh
so
my God, Jen,
Lolo, I know, isn't it? It's awful. Okay, so Lolo, normally yes, but because it was so long between by the time they finally found him, the only way for them to test, the only place that they could test it was in the liver, and so it was present in the liver, but it wasn't. She couldn't actually get levels, just that it was there. Hey, Allie.
Annie, I think that's a good point and it's very possible that stress, caused him to have stomach issues, because I'll tell you guys, I recently thought I was so sick. Last year, I went to the hospital and everything because I was having stomach issues for a couple months, nonstop, every couple days. And they did so much tests. I've got tons of blood work, all the things. And they said it's just anxiety. The doctor basically told me, there's nothing wrong, but I do know that your brain is directly linked to your gut. And,
exactly.
Anxiety will make you sick as can be to your stomach.
It's true. When my mom, like when my sister and I were young, and my mom would be, and she didn't do this very often. Very rarely did she ever escalate a call to my dad, but there were a few times when she would say, "Wait till your dad gets home," and those were things like one time me and my sister were home with a babysitter, and we decided we would do our nails. And my sister was monkeying around, and the nail polish remover was open, and she knocked it over, and it ate away at. It's not even my nana, which would be my grandmother. It was my nana, my great grandmother, Nana Keta. It was her dining room table, and it ate away the enamel. And my mom was pissed when she got home, and my dad was pissed when he got home. And so when she said, "Wait till you go to your room and wait for your dad to get home," I had to come out of my room because I had to poop because my tummy was upset because I knew we were going to be in trouble. And so
Yeah.
that absolutely and even, ever since then, when I'm nervous or I have anxiety, I have tummy troubles. It is what it is. It's
Yep.
directly connected. And so anyway, I think what she really did on Monday was I do think she continued to give Gannon hydrocodone. And I think she thought that would be the best, that he would just fade, I guess is the best word for it. But what she also wanted to do was she also wanted to have something that showed that Gannon and she left the house and that she and Gannon returned to the house. And that's what the motion, all the ADT and all that shows, is that she and him did return. And
Yep.
then while she was inside of Petco, while she was driving around and all over Hell's Half Acre, doing all the things, this is when she is concocting this Eduardo story.
Yep. And I saw a shadow finally went during court. Like, the video, they say you could see it. During court, I was able to see it. I had never seen it before watching it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
When
Okay. So
as
there
soon
you
as she
go.
opens her driver's door, you can see a shadow out of
There
the
you
back seat, like barely,
Okay.
but yeah.
So everything that Leticia did from the 26th forward was completely and totally, in my opinion, very calculated, very purposeful, and with much intent. That's what I firmly believe. And I firmly believe that is what that she was up at the butt crack of dawn on Monday morning, not only to get Lena off because Lena has to be managed as well. There's two other people in the house who would then potentially be witnesses. And so she's got to maintain and act like everything is okay, but also control the situation so that nobody sees anything they shouldn't be seeing, right? She probably could manipulate. She knew she could manipulate Harley. She's been manipulating Harley her whole life. But Lena might say something and, and she couldn't take the risk and keep Lena home. Lena had to go to school, but she was also scared that should Lena see anything, kids are at school for 6-8 hours a day. That's 6 to 8 hours of unsupervision. Who knows what Lena might say? That's why she had to manage her. That's why she made sure that she got on the bus and all of those things. And that's why as soon as Lena was gone, she goes and gets Gannon. Everything she did that day was purposeful, intentional, and calculated. Everything. That is not the signs of a psychotic break. I've never, in all of my live long life, ever heard of somebody having a psychotic break and coming out of this and being able to get out of a psychotic break with what the fuck? Without intervention of some type.
Right. Absolutely.
So
you're exactly right. I would love remember Harley said that she was, even that night when she came there, that she was scared, that things were different. Like, it was weird. It was cold. Her mom was acting scared. She was worried about Gannon. She said mom was scared. Mom was worried about Gannon. So what was she saying to them to make, what did she hear Leticia say that made her think that?
I think that Leticia said, Harley testified that Leticia said that she was scared of Gannon, that Gannon was not acting right. This is when the whole bath salts, blah, 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 lie comes out, right? And, I just think that, again, she was not legally insane at any moment at all. This was
Nope.
all
If
intentional.
she didn't know right from wrong, she wouldn't have lied 50,000 ways to down all about every single detail, the blood on her shoes. She made even work that into the story.
She
The
got rid
socks,
of
the
her
busted toes,
clothes.
the gun, like everything. Everything
Everything.
was worked in
Every
somehow or another.
everything, including, and there is a reason she included this, including that box cutter. There is a reason that she included that story in her interrogation, in the
Oh, yeah.
narrative. There was, because
I agree.
she had to account for, if they find the box cutter and the box cutter has Gannon's DNA on it, I'm pretty sure she ran it through the dishwasher and got rid of it, but you never know. She's calling it a box cutter. I think what she
Mm-hmm.
might actually be talking about is more of a utility knife. And
Right.
I think that she had to account for it, just in case there was some little tiny something that she missed. Should it come back, there's a ready explanation for it. The one thing that she has never actually explained, and never really, that I've heard of thus far, are her clothes. Where are her clothes from that day? She will, in her initial interrogation, right? They make mention of it, or I should say, she mentions her clothes, but then switches gears and changes it to something else, and they never come back around to the clothes that she was wearing.
Yeah. I don't know
And
yet. Maybe we'll hear more, or
I
maybe.
I think she thought Al wouldn't check for clothes. Like, I don't know how everybody else's husband is. I can only tell you how mine is. And there are some items of my wardrobe that he remembers and knows that I have. But there are other ones that, if I threw it away tomorrow, he would never even know that I had it, A, or B, that it was thrown away. And I think Letitia thought she could get away with throwing away clothes, getting rid of an outfit or two, right? But what she couldn't get away with are shoes, because I suspect Leticia wore those Nikes quite frequently. They were a staple in her outfit of
Yeah.
the day, and getting rid of those would have drawn suspicion, which is why she ran them through the washing machine.
Yep, I think you're right about that. That makes sense. Oh God, it's so frustrating putting all the pieces together. And look, tomorrow we're right back in it. I'm glad we get the weekends and these Thursdays off, because it is some really, like, this if it doesn't completely rock your whole entire soul, then
Yes. I'm glad that we don't have. Okay, yes, would I like to have the cameras in the courtroom for the Vallow trial? Absolutely. I would. That would be ideal. But I think
imagine
that,
seeing those photos.
well,
I want to
yeah,
see.
but not only that, I think that it would be too difficult for us to be covering two cases simultaneously. The advantage of it being
Mm-hmm.
audio is that we can wait and talk about it the next day and more in depth. We're always a day behind, but still. And then watching the Stout trial, if we didn't have Thursdays off, you guys, I'm telling you right now, I don't think that I would be okay.
Yeah, I think
I
you're
re- it,
100% right.
it's a lot. It is so. You guys know this. I mean, you're there watching it with us. It's heavy. It's infuriating. I'm infuriated on almost every single level that a human being can be infuriated. First of all,
Oh,
the most important thing is, or yeah, I'm the most infuriated, or at the top of the list of infuriations. Number 1 is what she did to Gannon. That's it, period. Then following that is the gaslighting, the lies, the misdirecting of the investigation, and the lies don't even make sense.
I know. By the end
None
of
of
it,
her stories.
by the end of it, when Quincy, I was about to say that a minute ago to you, like, can you believe where we're at now when these calls pick back up? At this point, Quincy's in Mexico. She's done said that was a fucking lie, and now he's disappeared from the truck at Petco because
Right,
she don't think he was
exactly.
seen getting out at home. Remember, because the video came out and everyone was like, "Where's Gannon? Where's Gannon?" So she's like, "They didn't see him get out at home, so I can say he disappeared at Petco." That's her thought.
Exactly, exactly. Every time she is confronted with something that a part of her story that doesn't make any sense, she will flip and squish or twist and then
Yep.
change.
Mm-hmm.
It's infuriating. It's absolutely those calls, listening to her on those calls, th I had to stop being outraged by the lies. I had to I had to like numb myself because the stories were such bullshit. But what I could not. Oh, thank you, Annie. Oh, I'll get right back to you, babe. What I could not get past in those phone calls were how everything was about her. Nothing was about Gannon. It was all about her. What happened to her?
Mm-hmm.
Her ring was taken. Her car has been impounded. Her cell phone was confiscated. She's sleeping at a motel. Bitch, you're lucky you're not sleeping under the jail, um, or in the shed. If it were me, your ass would be in the shed. Anyway, you know, me, I, uh, and then blackmailing, for lack of a better word, right? I'll give you information about what happened to your son if you will if we can see each other, if you will promise me we're going to work on the everything was about her, what her
Oh yeah.
needs were.
And
It's
throwing Landon under the bus, like saying like trying to connect Landon to taking him to Mexico and shit.
I'll say this, I'm not all that surprised that she would do that, frankly, and I yes, it was annoying to me, but it was annoying, it never got from me to the infuriating part, because there were more than a few times when Al would actually defend Landon, which would actually make Leticia even more angry, and then she would come up with something even
Yeah, but
more bullshittery. She's
for
wrong for
me,
what
it
she did.
totally. For me, it definitely adds to my like anger towards her because it's just more layers of her fucking lies and bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like, God, lady, you know what? Dude, I don't know. Uh, Al was obviously thinking about having to sit in a courtroom one day and hear all of
Yes.
this. Letitia was actively saying she was being recorded. What the hell? I mean,
Leticia thought she was gonna march in with Jose
who's
Baez and some kind of legal dream team, and everything was gonna be fine. No, bitch. It's not gonna
mm,
be fine. And
mm-mm,
I think what did anger me about Leticia bringing up Landon, I wasn't surprised that she did this, but
right?
equating the fact that Landon had some struggles, right, with, if I understand from what Letitia's saying, I'm not saying that I believe this, but Leticia says that Landon, did drugs, right? So she has struggles with addiction. And what she is really doing is saying that because Landon was an addict, she's clearly capable of doing something that now has Gannon missing. Do you know what I mean? And I think that was
Yeah,
what was most disgusting about it,
yeah, that's
because
a good point.
can't
But
really,
wait, go
you
ahead.
know, I just I would, okay, if a person who is an addict and they never try to get better, even if they don't succeed and they have to keep trying, 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 and trying. It's the trying, right? Um, but for Letitia to be so fucking judgmental of Landon's struggles is, I don't know, I guess, like, she's living in a big ass glass house, even before this, even before
Yeah.
this, even before she did what she did to Gannon. She's still in a huge ass glass home, okay? She's a piece of shit.
I think that's why I feel so bad for Landon right now, especially I haven't like talked to her recently or anything like that. I just have watched and I think and you keep hearing her get brought up. She's most of the time in there and it's like, damn man, her baby has been murdered by Can you imagine? Cuz
And
look,
now you're dogging her out.
yeah, and imagine like splitting up with your husband or whatever and him getting with a new woman and that leading to your baby being murdered and having to go across the country and sit in court every day and hear this shit. Like, oh my God. Because I'm telling you, I've thought about like if because just because of like my own personal life, like my kid's dad dating other women, and I've thought about, I don't know, just you worry about the person who's around your baby. I just cannot imagine. Oh, it's just disgusting. But
I mean, yeah, she's just on, like, there is Leticia is despicable on every single level at every single turn. All she was concerned about was that Al was in the same zip code as Leticia, and therefore they must be hooking up. And really, what that speaks to is, I don't know how else to say it, but to say it. Look, she and Al, and I'm blaming both of them. It would be different if Leticia was the other woman and wasn't friends with Al, or wasn't friends with Landon. But it's it's a horse of a different color when it is your friend and you sleep with their husband, because that's a double betrayal. Frankly, he betrayed her because he took the vows, and Leticia betrayed her because she was her friend. She violated girl code, period. And the truth of the
yeah.
matter is, it would be very difficult to ever have a healthy relationship going forward. They would never trust each other. First of all, let's look at it from Leticia's perspective, okay? She is now the wife. And what had Al done in the past to his wife? Oh, that's right. He cheated on his wife with Leticia. So now Leticia can't run the risk of ever having girlfriends because, she knows, and she's never going to trust Al. And frankly, Al isn't going to trust her very much either. And that does come through in those phone conversations between the two of them, that there were issues in their relationship with trust way before any this happened with Gannon, way before that. And of course they would. That's reasonable. They're cheaters. I'm sorry, Al. You've probably turned your life around and you're walking the straight and narrow and whatever, and that's great. But we're not talking about now. We're talking about then. And then you were a
Yes.
cheater.
Sorry, Al.
Sorry, Al. You were a cheater then. It is what it is. And look, Leticia ain't no better because she was Landon's friend.
I know,
So,
you're right. And you
there
know
was
what?
no
He was
hope.
actually he was seeing somebody. Like that's the rumors anyway, and I'm pretty sure Teresa, like she knows the name. Like he dated this girl for a while that he got with at the end of his relationship with Leticia. And that's not his wife now, but yeah.
Right. So, I mean, how can you possibly, how can any, like the basis of the foundation of a good relationship, whether it is friendship or a romantic relationship, is trust. If you don't have trust, you don't have nothing. And those two did not trust each other farther than they could throw one another. Then you add in the dynamic that Al is gone a lot for his job, and that's the way that it is. And granted, Leticia signed up for it, okay? But listen, did they give her a competency test before she signed up for stuff? Because let me just be very clear. Leticia signed up for for the dream. She didn't sign up for the reality, and that's just the truth. And once
Yep.
reality set in, then she was miserable. And that's, she's not a good human being, period.
Nope. And we hear that along the way. Miserable in Alaska, miserable here, miserable there. You don't like the cold, you like the hot, you don't blah, 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 whatever. She was constantly bitching.
She
Their
wanted
relationship
out.
was
Yes.
toxic.
Yes, and I think what Leticia wanted, she wanted Al to be in the military because she wanted to be a military wife, but she didn't want the military wife lifestyle. She wanted the accolades and the
Mm-hmm.
everything good that comes with being a military wife, but not any of the reality
Oh, yeah.
that comes with
Absolutely.
being, and Leticia is just one of those people that doesn't understand that in life you have to take the bitter with the sweet. You can't have one or the other. You have to, it's both, and that's the way life is. And she just doesn't want to accept it.
I completely agree. Completely. I think they're supposed to be. Wait, do you know Landon? I could have sworn he said, oh, 22. I just said that because I was saying, like, I'm not being biased. And I know her a little bit, but not like personal friends like that, just from like covering the case. And when I started covering it, I was on TikTok and she was on there a lot. So we started talking there a little bit, but we don't really talk much recently. I reached out to her before the trial to ask if we could help because Jen and I were talking about doing some kind of fundraiser or something like that. And she basically, she said that she only has one way of accepting money and she's caught a lot of slack over accepting it in the past. And it was a whole thing. So that's why we did the toenail thing. But I don't know her. I just meant, like, I'm not saying that I feel sorry for Landon for any other reason besides watching the hearing and just truly feeling sorry for.
I think we can all have empathy and sympathy for Landon, particularly there's another element, the mom in us, we can identify. But, and you're right, Elizabeth, it's a sacrifice. And Leticia is way too selfish, self-absorbed to make that sacrifice. She is incapable. In fact, I suspect that even if she hadn't, even if this was actually a kidnapping, right? I still think that Leticia would have made it about her because she makes everything about her. That is her personality type. So
Yeah.
it's,
And you got,
I don't know, Pepper. I don't know if that was her motive. Honestly, I kind of think that this is why I'd be so interested in knowing what Landon and Leticia's friendship was like. Not from Leticia and not from Landon, but from the people who were around them. And I would be very interested. I suspect
oh, me too. I would love to
that
hear that.
that's what I want to know. I suspect that for Landon's part, obviously when Leticia stole her man and slept with him, that was a deal breaker, right? But I suspect that before that, that Landon actually considered and treated Leticia as a friend. I think for Leticia, I don't think she ever regarded Landon as a friend. I think she was always envious of what she thought that Landon had, which is why she made the move on Al. She wanted
Yeah.
Landon's life. And because she brings up Landon so much in her
Yeah, you're
Google
exactly right.
searches, in the
Yeah.
conversations with Al, I actually think the person she hated was Landon. And I
I do too.
think that she targeted, I don't think that what happened to Gannon on the 26th, 27th of January was the first time. I think that Leticia was likely verbally abusive to him always, but he was her
Yes.
main target. And I think that the reason why is because on some level, I don't know what it was that for her that she saw in Gannon that reminded her of Landon, but that's why she targeted him. I suspect that if we were really to break it down, if and it's be difficult because she's such a lying liar mouth, right? But if there was one moment where where she absolutely could not lie, like she had that thing that whatever happened to Jim Carrey and Liar Liar, if she had that happen to her and we were to ask her, I think that she would find qualities in Landon or in Lena that relate to Al. And then if you were
Oh
to
yeah,
ask her
that
to
makes sense.
describe Gannon, I think she would describe traits in Gannon that were that reminded her of Landon, and I think that that is why she was his target.
Well,
Or he
I
was
think
her
you're
target. No, he was her target. Yes, he was her target.
I think you're dead on because, yeah, I think that it was due to Landon. I think it was because, like you said, he probably reminded her of Landon, and also we know that he was crazy about his mom, And I was gonna
Mhm.
say, so like speaking of her TikTok, you guys in the chat, if you are on there, you should go watch some of her videos because she goes like Landon actually does talk a little bit. She won't talk too much until after the trial about like the details. She talks a lot about Gannon, a lot about missing him. She shows some emotional breakdowns. She shows videos of herself like punching like it's basically like it was a trend on TikTok where you can like break this glass, but she's like, I don't know, they're very powerful and very good videos. You can go over there and really get like a more of a view from her kind of perspective.
I think we should put that in the chat, her TikTok link. No, maybe not.
Yeah.
Should we? Okay.
Yeah, hold on just one second. Let me grab it. But I'll still hear you. I just got to go to the app.
Pepper, I think the way that it sounds to me is that in the beginning, when Leticia and Al first got together, there was a lot of shared time. And then Landon needed Al to take Gannon and Lena. And I guess in the course of that, Al is the one who ended up with primary physical custody. And when Landon got herself back on her feet and got herself established again, then she, rather than disrupt the children's lives and, you know, have primary custody, meaning that they would move from Colorado where they had lived and they had made friends and they had established their little lives. She said, "I'll wait and we'll work out a visitation schedule," and that's what happened. So, yeah. I just think um I really do believe, and I don't know what makes me think this, other than really the things that Leticia has said. She's hyper focused on Landon. While it's an interesting dichotomy because on the one hand, she looks her nose down at Landon, but on the other hand, she needs constant reassurance from Al that she's better than Landon. So she is simultaneously insecure and superior all at the same exact time. And I think that's very telling. Um, I kind of think that too, 22 tantrums. I do. I think that Landon and Leticia, I I think there were ebbs and flows in their relationship after Al and Leticia got married. And I think that there were I know there were because this was testified to, that there were times when they were complete adversaries. And then there were times when they would actually be allies against Al. So, yeah, I don't think that there is. I will say this as far as what I think about Leticia, Landon, and Al. I don't think that Leticia ever displayed anything to Al or to Landon that would make them think that Leticia was capable of doing what she ultimately did. Because I do believe that had she, I don't think that neither Al or Landon would have allowed Leticia around Gannon and Lena. I just don't think they would. I don't think they would have allowed that. I think that I don't think they thought that Leticia was capable of doing something like this. And I think for Al, I don't think that Al thought that Leticia treated Gannon and probably Lena very similarly to the way she treated Al with the gaslighting and the manipulating and all of that. She must not have done those types of things in front of Al. And I would imagine if Gannon and Lena ever spoke up about it, what would end up happening is that the discussion between Al and Leticia would devolve into an argument about you always, you take your kid's side, and you have me here. I'm with them all the time. You must trust me enough to leave them with me. But here you are at every turn, questioning my parenting or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm so shitty, why don't you just, why do you leave your kids with me? I would imagine that that's how their arguments went. So I don't know, Pepper. Isn't she on the list, Alex, to testify? Can you hear me? I think Allie went to go find the TikTok. I can't remember if Landon is on the list or not. I think that she is. And I think I talked about this before. I think that if I were the prosecution, Landon would be one of the last witnesses. And
Jen.
I would put her on. Yeah, babe.
Okay, sorry. I got booted. Like when I don't know. She said she made a post that she was thinking about leaving TikTok, and I think she might have because she changes her name sometimes and she's hard to find. But I couldn't find her, and I even went through all of my following list, and I know that I'm following her for sure because that's, like I said, where I met her. So I don't know, and watched a ton of her videos. I couldn't find any of them though, but it's so flooded with court videos. But still, but she did make a post saying that she's thinking about leaving social media on the day that they showed his pictures. She said that she wanted to remember Gannon like the way that she does, and
yeah. Well, thanks for looking anyway, babe.
If I find it, I'll let you know so you can share it. But.
Okay. So I think with Landon testifying, I think that the prosecution has to be very, very careful about putting Landon up, not for any other reason than they want to be sure to ask the right questions because that limits what the cross-examination can be, right? And so if I were the prosecution, what I would put Landon on the stand to testify to is strictly about Gannon. Maybe a tiny bit about any behavior from Leticia that she herself personally witnessed, because remember, Leticia did say that she forwarded some stuff to Landon. And so Landon would be able to testify about that. But I really think that if they put her on the stand, it's going to, the bulk of her testimony will be to tell the jury about Gannon. And had there not been so many calls between Leticia and Al, where Leticia is giving all these crazy stories and stuff, I think that Al would have had an opportunity to testify more about who Gannon was. But I think that's what they're going to bring Landon in for. And if I were them, I would wait and almost present her as the last witness before I arrested the case in chief, because they'll get a rebuttal. But yeah, that's how I would want that to be the lasting impression, is who Gannon was.
Oh my God, how awful. Well, remember, she was telling some of this story about being raped and stuff to Landon as well at the house,
That's true.
in person.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, oh my God, imagine that moment. Like, how do you hold it together? Because you got to hear her out. You got to let her talk because you want to get information.
Exactly. And the thing of it is, you're having to exercise restraint under really difficult and stressful circumstances. Your child is missing, and the only person who was there and witnessed anything is Leticia, and so you have to deal with her, right? But it's Leticia, and she, you can't lose your cool. You can't. And I think that if I were Al and Landon, the thing that I would be the most angry about is the level of restraint that I showed and patience that I showed. And it turns out that she was never trying to help the investigation. She's the fucking perpetrator. And
Yeah.
I cut her slack and put up with her bullshit. It would make me want to beat her up even more.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I remember Landon had said before that she she wasn't going to talk publicly about the case until the trial, but after the trial that she wanted to write a book and talk to as many, talk about Gannon everywhere. She wants to get his story to be out everywhere. So I look forward to that if she does. I don't know if she still feels that way, because she said that right after, but.
Well, we've been on here for a while, babe. 2 hours. I'm surprised. It doesn't feel like all that much time, but my body is saying, hello.
Hello, I'm stiff now.
It's 11:32. Why the fuck are you not in bed? You're too old to be staying up to this hour. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I'm getting tired too. And Bentley, he's still asleep. I'm worried about him sleeping so hard, but.
Well, I think, okay, keep an eye on him, like I know you will be. But I think that I remember when my youngest daughter used to do this, and it always seemed like it was closer to the end of the school year. I remember when we had field day, and she came home we got home at what, 3:15, and she slept all the way until the next morning. She was just worn out.
Wow.
And they go through their growth spurts and stuff like that. I'm a big fan of, if nothing is wrong, right? They're not sick. They don't have a fever or anything. Yes, check. But children when they sleep like that, they're sleeping like that because their little bodies need it.
Right.
And as long as they're not having a fever or something else isn't going on, and I know that you are an excellent mama, and you worry and fuss, and so I have a feeling that
I checked his fever first thing when he
of
didn't
course you did.
I was like,
Of course you did. Because you're a good mama. And I have a feeling that he's just plumb wore out and he just needs to rest.
Yeah, he didn't have any fever at all. So that, because one time he did have a little episode where he was sick and running a fever, and he had a really bad nightmare. It scared the crap out of me. And it took him a long time to fully wake up and not be terrified. It was just crazy. He had never done that before. So when he was hard to wake up and kind of still just, I don't know, just acting really drowsy almost.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing I did, and yeah, he was fine. So I thought maybe he's just tired.
He's just tired. His little body needs to. That's the thing about kids, is that if they're hungry, they'll eat. If they're not hungry, they won't. You know what I mean? If they need to sleep, if they will sleep. Their little bodies are perfect at doing what they need in the moment. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of months Bentley has a growth spurt.
Yeah, you're probably right. Oh God, slow down, kids. They grow too fast.
I
Lord
know.
have mercy. I
I know,
can't take
but he's almost well, you've got, your oldest son, he's at that that's I remember when my boys were that age. They're like all arms and legs. They're so clumsy.
Yes.
They're
But he
all out
breaks
of
my heart. He's growing so fast. Like today, I laid with him in his bed and he was like bigger than me. And I'm like, dude,
wait,
I remember you being littler than me. Like, and now you're bigger than me. It's
I
crazy.
know. I know. You blink and then they're grown.
Mhm.
And then you blink again and they have kids. They're responsible for tiny humans.
Oh God Almighty. Which
So
that'll be fun because then you get to play with little humans. So
you
so
do.
fun.
You do. And then you get to watch the little humans give your once little humans payback. I'm telling you, Olivia gives Elizabeth an absolute rash of shit. And it's the same kind of stuff that Elizabeth used to do to me. And so it is, I do laugh.
Oh, that's funny.
I do. It makes me laugh. But
Pepper, he's 6. He's about to be done with kindergarten. So, and then my oldest one, he's getting ready to go to high school. I cannot freaking believe that.
oh
I
my
keep saying
God.
that, but I'm like, oh dear God Almighty.
I'll tell
Good
you
thing.
when my kids were hit junior high, it seemed like once they hit middle school, that was it. It just went by so quickly. I mean, my youngest is going to be graduating next month.
Oh my God.
We're about to have
Wow.
prom and all the things.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I know.
What a time.
I know. Well, all right, you guys. Allie, thank you so much for being here tonight and doing this recap with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad we did it. And yeah, and we talked about both because in the morning we're back on,
Back
and it's
on
easy to.
Letitia.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be back on Allie's tomorrow night to do the recap because it's her turn. And then this weekend we'll on Sunday finish the roast of Leticia. We're gonna skip
Yeah.
through the BS and get right to the chest pains. I'm not gonna I don't want to give that story that I think it's an insult to SA survivors. And so I don't really want to give that any life at all because it's an absolute outright lie. And I
Yeah.
just rather get right down to, you know,
Yep, that's a good point.
let's
It
get
is.
right to the chest pains when she starts acting a fool.
Oh, you guys are the best, Annie O, and
All
just
of you
Don, and all of
guys.
you guys. Thank you for being here. Oh, Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. All right, you guys. I will see you tomorrow night at Allie's. I'm not going to stream the trial because I want to hear what that the testimony about those calls are, and I want to be able to take good notes. But I'll get back on our streaming schedule like Monday, and then all that. So, all right, you guys. Thank you everybody for being here. Welcome
Yeah.
to memberships, and thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the thumbs up. I hope you guys enjoyed this live, and I will talk to y'all later. All right,
Thank you, Jen.
bye.
Bye,
You're
guys.
welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.